Good morning, winners. Look, welcome to Terry's Tips. Guys, today we're going to talk about how to delete collections from your credit report. The secret, okay, to getting negative items removed. And if you are new to my channel, let me add something right here. I used to work for TransUnion. Yes, y'all, there's a reason why my videos are a little bit different. I tell a lot of information. My channel is different because there is a lot of inaccurate, borderline fraudulent, bad information out there about this particular topic. So today I'm going to break it all the way down. There's probably less than a handful of people in the nation who are doing videos like this that actually used to work for a bureau, and I'm one of them. So guys, get a notebook, get a pen. Today is almost going to be like a free workshop because I'm about to give you a ton of information. You might have to watch it and then watch it again, okay? And if you are new, welcome, guys. My name is Terri. I'm a self-employed entrepreneur, a mother, a YouTuber, an investor, personal and business credit guru, board certified, credit score certified. Guys, I upload brand new videos every Tuesday and Thursday morning. So make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment, share. And guys, let me say this real quick also. So I upload Terry's Tips every Tuesday and Thursday. Guys, for everybody who's working on business credit, I have a business credit playlist that I created. If you just want the business credit videos, go through that playlist from beginning to end, and you can do all your business credit, all of your vendor accounts, everything inside and out. I am going to create later on today, guys, okay, we're in September 2021. I'm going to create a credit repair playlist. It should be up later on this evening for all of my videos. I think I have 300 something videos on this channel. For just my videos that are just focused on credit repair. So if you have to work on your personal credit, get your scores up, get things removed, that playlist will be just the personal credit items, okay? And nugget right here, okay? You should be working on your personal credit while you're building your business credit. Don't miss that. That was a nugget, guys. And I'll do my other nugget at the end, okay? And so let's jump right in. And in this video, guys, I'm going to kind of separate some fact from fiction because of all the bad information out there. I'm going to tell you how to exercise your rights the right way and get negative items removed. I want to give you some do's and some don'ts to help you get better results. And I'm going to tell you why this is important. And guys, this is for my business and personal people. So let me jump into why it's important. So number one, guys, for business credit too, sometimes you guys cannot qualify for the bigger money, the unsecured debt, the unsecured loans because of your personal credit, especially as a brand new business owner, brand new investor, someone new to building a business credit in the beginning. They are going to look at your personal credit to qualify you, especially as a new entity, especially as a business owner, entrepreneur, investor who doesn't have a whole lot of business credit yet. So you really want your personal credit scores to be a 680 and above, guys, to start kind of tapping into some better business credit options. Also, guys, for personal and business, to qualify for the big money. If you haven't noticed, my channel is about the big money, 6 and 7 figures. We focus on wealth building, using your personal and business credit to put into income producing assets, to free yourself, to, have legacy and lifestyle, right? So for that bigger money, guys, you need to have things like collections deleted before somebody gives you $300,000, $500,000, $600,000, right? And you also know, so that's for the real estate financing, for the business credit. Then you also know you're paying so much more, guys, in fees, in interest, in costs, in late payments when you have bad credit. So getting these negative collections off your report is going to help you tremendously because sometimes, nugget, your score can drop anywhere between 20 and 60 points just by having a new collection added. Another nugget, guys, I'm going to drop nuggets through the entire video. Catch them. Is that I don't care whether the collection is $50, $500, or $5,000. The thing that dropped your score is how recent it is. So a collection added 3 months ago was going to tank your scores and hurt you way more heavily than a collection you may have 2 or 3 years ago, guys. Okay, so remember that. The amount is kind of irrelevant. It's the fact that it's an unpaid collection and then it was added to your report. Okay, so we're talking about how to delete it. What are some of the secrets? Okay, now first, guys, you hear all these videos that say never pay a collection. Okay, some of the fact from fiction, right, is that for business credit, for real estate financing, for the 6 and 7 figures, 1,000%, having a collection deleted or catching it before it's even added is the best. However, sometimes they are valid negative debts. Sometimes you guys did not send your validation letter. I'm going to go into all that. Sometimes you guys have already validated the debt because of the conversations you've had. I'm going to break that down also. So when you're in a situation where it's a valid negative debt, you already spent 9 months of doing letters and you've already done prolonged getting to your actual goal. Guys, don't let a $500 cable bill stand in the way of you and your destiny, you and your property, you and your business credit. That was a nugget, right? So this is so you take the information as you need it. If you've already validated the debt, if you've already agreed to a payment, if it's a valid negative debt, then sometimes you do need to make a settlement or you do need to do a pay for delete. Guys, I will link my videos on how to negotiate a settlement and how to do pay for deletes. I just had one of my students, one of my Elite 10 mentees, get 4 collections deleted just by using the pay for delete strategy, guys, okay? So best thing is to have it deleted. The next best thing is at least a 0 balance. You can get things like real estate financing, business credit, and all those things if you at very least have a 0 balance. That was a nugget, okay? Now, the very first thing, and understand, guys, so this is where the laws come in. I'm about to drop some gems, okay? Is that there are debt laws. There are contract laws. There are statute of limitation laws. There are reporting laws, right? The Fair Credit Reporting Act, the debt collection practices, statute of limitations, right? All of those laws kind of come into place when you want to get collections deleted because they're third parties, okay? And because, you know, kind of exercising your rights with some loopholes. It's true, guys. A lot of these collection agencies are shady. It's true, guys, that sometimes they buy your debts, right? It's true that sometimes they don't have the right documentation, but they prey on the fact that you guys don't know your rights and you don't exercise them in the right order. That was a nugget, or the right way, and that's why they get added to your credit report, okay? So one thing I want you guys to start doing, 2 things actually, okay, is first, let me go with the debt validation letter. So when you get these letters from collection agencies, stop ignoring them. Every single time you get one, there'll be language in there that says within the very first 30 days, if you disagree with this debt, whatever, if you dispute it, you know, let us know. That's when you dispute it. If you kind of catch it right there, that very first 30 days, stop putting it on your dining room table and forgetting it for 2 months. A lot of times, if you dispute it right there, send a debt validation letter to the company immediately, especially within the very first 30 days, you can prevent it from even being added to your reports. That was a nugget, guys, right? Because it says if you respond, we kind of have to then do some digging, right? That's basically what it's saying. We have to do some digging. We have to prove it to you and all those things. But if you do not respond, stop ignoring it. That means that we're assuming it's a valid debt. Now we're going to proceed, okay? Another nugget here, debt validation letters. You should always, this is specifically, guys, for collections, through third parties, a lot of times for credit card debt, for utilities, for medical bills, those kinds of things where you don't necessarily have like a signed contract, okay? And I'll break that down also. Always send a debt validation letter. So it's the best if you do it in the very first 30 days. If you have ignored the letter and you never kind of disputed it, don't fret. You still can at any time send a debt validation letter. It's just the most effective in the beginning because that way usually it won't even be added. Now, the next question everybody always says to me is, send me a debt validation template and send me, let me pay for all these letters. Guys, nugget, stop paying for these letters. There is no magic letter that deletes everything from your credit report. It's more important for you to understand what to put in the letter and how to send it, okay? I will go back in this video and I will include the link from the Federal Trade Commission and also from the Consumer Protection Bureau about what to actually include in your debt validation letter. But a debt validation letter should always, you should be asking them for the name of the original creditor, the amount that you owed, your signed contract, proof that it's a valid debt that you owe, and also information on how to dispute the debt and information on how to contact the original creditor. That's a nugget. I don't want all of your letters to be the same. I want it to be where it's a little bit imperfect because I know that you, the consumer, wrote it and not some credit repair place. That was a nugget. Don't let that go over your head, okay? So you just need to know what to put into the letter. The next thing about that is that always send it certified or U.S. Postal Service priority. This is critical, especially because some of these collection agencies are a little bit shady, guys, right? So you want to document that you sent the letter and when you sent it, okay? So make sure you have documentation to track it. You may need that later on. Another nugget here, guys, is if they just send you back a copy of a bill that is not meeting all the requirements of the debt validation letter. They have not met that burden of proof. This is another area where you guys mess up. You'll send a debt validation letter, they send back a bill, and then you pick up the phone and agree to pay for it. Once you pick up the phone and agree to pay for it or negotiate, you are now validating the debt. Now you cannot then say this is not a valid debt because you're entering into a verbal agreement. I'm about to revisit that in a quick second, okay? So guys, always, whether it's brand new in a debt validation letter, whether it hasn't hit your report yet and it's been some time, whether it's on your report and you never did that before, that's always one of your first kind of recourse of action to get a collection deleted, especially when it's a third party. Got it, guys? Now, with the verbal agreement and contracts, guys, and there's laws around contracts as well. When the collection agencies call you, hear me, guys. When they call you, they'll be like, hey, can I speak to, Terri? This is, on a recorded line, blah, 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 right? When you guys answer that phone, they say, is this Terri? First of all, you don't have to say, this is Terri, this is Kim, this is what. You don't have to say, yes, this is. You can just say, hello, how can I help you, right? You don't have to even admit that it may or may not be you. That's number one. But number two, they're going to say, this is on a recorded line. You can immediately say, I would be happy to speak with you, but not on a recorded line. That's a nugget, guys, because a lot of times they buy these debts, they buy these lists, right? And so they may not always have all of the documentation or the original contract, but a verbal contract is very, very real, guys. And so when they're telling you about the debt, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's from a medical bill, this one, or that was from a gym membership, or I forgot to pay that, can I pay you this? You have now validated the debt. They're recording the call so that if you try to come back later on and say it's not valid, they can now hold you to it. They can now put it on your credit report. So that conversation is sometimes killing you guys, okay? So say, I will speak to you, but not on a recorded line. A lot of times they'll hang up right there because they know they need the verbal agreement from you guys. Don't miss that, okay? So I'll speak to you, but not on a recorded line. And then still make sure you have the information to send the debt validation letter. Now, some fact from some fiction, right? Because all these credit repair places are saying, never pay a collection, never, 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 blah, blah, blah. They don't have a signed contract. Guys, we are way past, it's 2021. We are way past the days where for every single credit card, you went into the bank and physically signed a contract. Y'all know I used to work for TransUnion. I've been doing this for years. And more importantly, I get way more blessings by being honest with you guys and giving you a bunch of fluff. So sometimes having when you apply for something online and they have the terms and agreements and then you click I agree, that's still a contract. Or you're doing something through DocuSign, right? Some of these will make you do through DocuSign and then you'll kind of sign it electronically and agree to do it electronically. That's a contract. So these videos are hyping y'all up. You don't have a signed contract, but you did a DocuSign or you agree to some terms. Guys, DocuSign is very, very real. I'm a landlord, okay? And I've had leases signed via DocuSign and then somebody default and I was able to go to court and get a $19,000 judgment based on my DocuSign contract. I'm telling you guys the truth, okay? So yes, a lot of times maybe the credit card company didn't give them everything. Maybe you didn't agree to the terms. Maybe you just got the card and start using it. Maybe, you got a contract in the mail with the credit card and you were supposed to sign it and send it back and you did not. So then they technically don't have it. There's different scenarios, guys, right? But just don't think because you didn't physically go to the bank and sign a contract for the credit card, that means they can't hold you liable. That is not true. Okay, so don't get caught up on that part. But you do want to make sure that you're not entering into a verbal contract with them, okay, guys? So don't ever do that unless you know it's a valid negative debt. You really do have to pay it. You agreed to it before. They sent you an actual contract and they met all the requirements. Now what do? Again, don't let a $500 cable bill or a $300 Macy's bill or, a $200, water bill keep you from getting your six-figure house, your six-figure property, your six-figure unsecured line of debt. That's where you negotiate a pay for delete because they have already met the burden of proof and you knew it was an actual valid debt. Your most important asset is your time, not your money. Okay, so if you know it's really yours and you've been through all these things, they proved it, guys, that's when you go into damage control. How do we get it actually deleted? Another nugget here, right, guys, two more nuggets in this area, is that a lot of times these collection agencies, let's say they give you a very hard time and they'll say, well, you're going to pay it, it's yours, we gave you proof, but we will not delete it. Guys, a lot of times if you do the settlement, right, so it's going to be updated as a zero balance on your credit report, and then you dispute it on your credit report after, like you disputed it again after you paid it, a lot of times it will get deleted through that dispute process because these collection companies have already got their money, so they don't care about responding to the dispute. They don't respond in time. It's not worth it for them to answer 500,000 disputes they've already gotten their money. So don't think that just because they said no, they're not going to delete it, now you're one and done. Like, go ahead and still negotiate the settlement because you need the zero balance to get your big money, right? You don't always have to pay a collection to get a car, to get another credit card, to get a personal loan. Our channel's about wealth building. Sometimes, because of what it is you're trying to do, don't miss that nugget, that before somebody gives you $300,000, they don't want to see a bunch of unpaid collections, right? So it's because of your goals and the type of financing you're trying to get and the amount that you're trying to get, right? So if you negotiate to at least a zero balance, you do a settlement, still dispute it with the credit bureaus afterwards, guys, and it may come off through that actual process. Now, another nugget, okay? That's only going to be a workshop. But let's say, portfolio recovery is the collection agency and they're collecting for T-Mobile. T-Mobile is the original creditor. Now, you don't want to deal with portfolio recovery, but you know that you really did owe T-Mobile. Guys, before you start even doing anything with the collection agency, still do the debt validation right away. But a lot of times if you speak to the original creditor, maybe it's a utility, maybe it's a credit card company, maybe it's, a medical bill, whatever it is, and you're able to settle it and pay it with the original creditor directly, a lot of times that can actually get the collection deleted because you can have proof that you paid the original creditor, which means this unpaid collection on your credit report is now not valid, okay? You can actually dispute that again. So think about if you've done everything else and you know in your heart of hearts it's valid and it's holding up your process, try to work with the original creditor. Always, another nugget, guys, is always get proof in writing. This is whether it's a pay for delete, whether it's a settlement, whether it's paid in full. Say, I need confirmation in writing. This is the nugget, guys, because a lot of times they will take your money. Look, they're real quick to take your money, right? But they won't do their due diligence to actually update it on your credit report or delete it from your credit report, right? So if you get the proof, right? I don't care whether it's an email, whether they mail to you, whatever, make sure you have that proof in case they don't update your credit report. You may have to actually do some legwork. Guys, it is true that you can get things removed from your credit report, but it isn't like you write one dispute letter and 10 collections get deleted. No, it's phone calls, faxes, letters, tracking it, escalating things. Can you do it? Absolutely. Can it be tedious? Absolutely. Then hopefully once you get everything cleared up, right, you never have to do it again because you get your good credit, you keep it, maintain it, and grow it, and you're good. Okay, another nugget, guys, is statute of limitations. So there are reporting laws, right? Negative items can be reported for 7 years from the date of last activity. It's under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. But depending on where you live, Pennsylvania, Jersey, California, Texas, Florida, there are statute of limitation laws. Sometimes these collection agencies are reaching out to you for debts that are past the statute of limitations. Guys, look up for your state. Statute of limitations and collections for Florida, for Texas, whatever it is, because they're doing business in your state, right, to collect from you. That means that your state laws are going to regulate this process. So if you have a state law that says, they can't collect after 5 years and they're just going ahead and collecting after you, and it's been 6 years or 7 years, almost at that 7-year time for reporting, and they're still trying to collect from you, guys, be empowered, be educated, and say, not only is this not a valid debt, but I live in such a state, this debt is from this date, this is past the statute of limitations. A lot of times you can make, sometimes putting that in writing and sending it to them certified makes the whole thing go away. You would be surprised how a lot of times it's not worth it for them to do all that legwork. Another nugget, guys, is about them buying the actual debt, and this is specifically for third-party collection companies. When you owe, let's say you owe Discover, and it was like a $2,000 credit card, right? This is why some of these laws, some of these loopholes actually work in your favor to get things deleted. So you owe Discover $2,000. Something happened, you were not able to pay them, right? Eventually Discover is going to do what? They're going to write it off. That means it's a charge off. That's what a charge off is, guys, right? And so then what that means is that they're saying to the IRS, right, that we lost $2,000 on this person. And the IRS gives them a tax credit, right? So that's how they're kind of recuperating it because they're getting a tax credit for your write-off. Then what the company does, because they usually no longer try to pursue it from you because they already wrote it off with the IRS. So they don't want to kind of like double dip and get in trouble. They don't want to write it off with the IRS, get a $2,000 tax credit, and then try to collect from you. Like, they're not supposed to do that. That is when they'll go kind of write it off, get that kind of $2,000 tax credit, whatever it is that you owe, and then they'll also sell it to these collection agencies for pennies on the dollar to recoup the rest some more money, right? That's what they're doing. These other companies that are buying portfolios of information, some of them even have that in their name, portfolio recovery systems. Hello, somebody, right? So these collection agencies then buy these debts from these companies, give them pennies on the dollar. Maybe they paid $100 for it. You owe $2,000. The collection agency is trying to collect, $2,500 for you because they added all kinds of crazy fees. So understand how the process works and where the debt actually came from, the original amount. Sometimes you can say, hey, you don't even have an original contract. I had an agreement with Discover, right, to pay them back, but you, third party, did not give me a service. I did not buy a product from you. I did not agree to do business with you. This is where the debt validation letters come in. This is where that contract stuff, not agreeing verbally to pay the item until it's absolutely positively proven to be yours. That's where this comes in, guys, because you do not have a contract with this actual third party. They did not provide a service, okay? So you agreed to pay Discover, but you did not agree for Discover to sell your debt. Guys, these are the loopholes, right? Now think about a car. Think about a house. You have an actual signed contract. You have a mortgage commitment. You have a note, right? This is why some of the auto lenders sell your debts. Like, it'll be refinanced. This is why some of the mortgage companies switch hands, because you have a signed contract with them and they're able to kind of transfer this debt over. Not so much, not with like credit card companies, not with like, utilities, not with like, medical debts and all those things. So that's why you can kind of get things removed to that loophole by not agreeing, by doing a debt validation, okay? And then the last thing, guys, let me see if there's anything else that I forgot to give you, forgive you guys with the statute of limitations. And then also just like do the pay for delete, guys. So some of the companies, so for example, like sometimes research some of these, another nugget right here, guys, is research some of these companies in advance. So some of them actually even have on their website that, will delete the account if you do a settlement, all those things of that nature. Again, if it's a valid negative debt and you've already done the most, right? At some point, don't let that stand between you and your goal. But a lot of times, guys, things come off in the very first 30 days if you do the debt validation letter during that time frame, with the debt validation letter even afterwards, and making sure you do not verbally agree to anything over the phone until you absolutely positively know that it's a valid debt that you owe within the statute of limitations and it is standing between you and your goal. Got it, good, guys. So let's regroup, okay? So I separated a lot of fact with fiction. Oh, let me add one more thing about medical bills, guys. When you are disputing the medical bills with the credit bureaus directly, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, make sure you always include like a note saying that you feel as though it's a HIPAA, HIPPA violation. There's all kinds of HIPAA privacy laws around medical information. Sometimes, you don't want your dentist bill, your, chiropractor bill, your, whatever it is bill, on your actual credit report. You can feel like that's a violation of your rights. So sometimes the credit bureaus don't even want to like even get involved with HIPAA violations because they can get like a super like big kind of fine for kind of reporting that information if it's inaccurate. So when you're disputing it with the bureaus, this is about reporting. Make sure you let them know that you feel though it is a HIPAA violation, and sometimes that can help your actual account get removed, okay? So I talked about fact and fiction. I talked about settlements and pay for deletes. I talked about the debt validation letters. I'll include a link that will give you some information about debt validation. I told you to not agree for anything over the phone, and then if it is a valid debt, do a pay for delete, negotiate a settlement, and also dispute it with the bureaus again afterwards. Always document everything. Got it, good, guys. That was a lot of information. And let me add one more thing. If the collection agency is really doing something illegal, like they're not supposed to call you before 8 o'clock or after 9 o'clock. So say they're harassing you, they're bullying you, they're pretending to be an attorney and they're not. There's all kinds of debt laws, guys. You can escalate this to the Better Business Bureau, the Federal Trade Commission, the Consumer Protection Bureau, your Attorney General, your state rep. So know that you do have recourse. There's actually even a bunch of consumer attorneys around now that will take certain cases. But guys, don't be like going guns a-blazing and it was a valid negative debt. They proved everything and now you're spending 6 months hiring lawyers and do all kinds of nonsense, suing for defamation of character, and you knew it was yours the whole time. That's where some of this shady stuff comes in with some of these videos. I I'm just being honest with y'all. I told y'all I used to work for TransUnion. Got it good. I hope that was helpful. And guys, if you want videos like this to help you really build, give you all the information, no fluff. I know that was long, but I told you it's going to be like a free masterclass. Watch this 2 or 3 times and write down all the nuggets and then execute, guys. And make sure you subscribe and share so we can all come up together, right? And for my nugget, I'll make it quick, guys. Discipline. That is the only thing you need to be successful. More than motivation, more than inspiration, more than even being ambitious, guys. The people that have the results are the people that execute on a high level. There's going to be days you don't feel like it. You're tired. You're hungry. You have a medical issue. You have an issue with your spouse. Hands down, the number one thing to get you to the next level is being disciplined, holding yourself accountable. Look yourself in the mirror and say, did I do what I said I was going to do? Have I worked on my business every single day? Have I written my letters? Have I started budgeting so I'm not spending so much? Did I stop lending people money? Have I started meditating and writing goals down? Have you held yourself accountable, guys? Nobody is coming to save you. I need you to participate in your own rescue. And that starts with being disciplined. Amen? All right, I hope that was helpful. Sorry it was long, but I give you a bunch of information and have a super amazing day on purpose, guys.